morning, Sita Ram, and welcome to this again, your regular Thursday morning program on addiction and recovery, hosted by radio and television station Jagriti. And let me start at the outset by thanking Francis and all those people in the background, in the operating area, for sourcing the videos that you have seen so far. And I couldn't agree with them more that, the importance of gratitude. And this morning, before we proceed further, I really want to say a hello to my elder sister, Bisunde Rupnarayan, who lives in San Fernando. She has not been so well lately, but under the care of my niece Indra and my nephews and they there, she has been coming along quite well. And I really want to express my gratitude to Indra in particular, who has taken the full responsibility at this stage to care for her mother. And these are good examples of what children should be doing and what parents expect of their children at this stage of their life. Anyway, coming back, this morning we have a very special program. I met a young man a little over a year ago. His name is Johnny. He's joining us on this program this morning. Yes, he will not be with his video on because he's a member of the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. And there's a tradition, one of the traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous and indeed Narcotics Anonymous is that our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. So members of AA and NA do not promote themselves. That is, they remain anonymous at the level of press, radio, and films. And there's a reason for that, because alcoholism and drug addiction is a disease from which anyone at any stage can relapse. It is said that the person in recovery is just an arm length away from taking that drink or that drug. So that because of that and because of the nature of the disease, alcoholism and drug addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. One never knows what can happen, could trigger a relapse. As a result, members of the Fellowship of AA and NA and all of those, the 12-step program, they remain anonymous at the level of press, radio, and film, so that in the event that there's a relapse, they will not bring the entire fellowship into disrepute. Because, people are likely to say, look, he was on radio and television claiming, that AA and NA could do so much for people, and look, I saw him down the road drinking. And yes, people can relapse. Sometimes relapse becomes part of recovery. And here's a young man this morning who is joining us who have struggled. I know he has struggled quite a lot. And he has gained my admiration for his efforts to, not fall down and stay down, but to get up, dust himself off, and commit again to remaining in recovery. So this morning, I also want to say to our listeners that this guest of mine has agreed to come on the program to share his own personal story, not so much to impress you, but to let all our listeners and brothers and sisters out there know that there is hope, that no matter how bad things have gone with you, no matter how far you have reached in your addiction, there is hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, from my own experience working in the field, I have come to realize is that the worse off it might appear that a person has gone is the more ready they are. Because when in AA and NA, it is often said that you have to hit rock bottom. And everybody's rock bottom is at a different place. Some people just losing their job because of drinking could cause them to turn around. But for some people, it may take much more than that. Several hospitalizations, accident, injury, incarceration, you name it, before they reach to that level of surrender that is required for a person to really develop the insight and motivation for recovery. So this morning, I will not hesitate any longer. I want to welcome Johnny to the studios of Radio and TV Jagriti, and to let our listeners know this is an interactive program that you can call in and ask questions, or you can make brief comments, And to let you know too that this program will be aired again tonight at 10 p.m. And at the end of the program, soon after, it will be posted on YouTube. So those of you who do not have the time at this point in time, or who would want to revisit anything that was said in the program, you can listen, you can tune in again tonight at 10, or you can go on YouTube and Facebook and see the program, and it is being posted there as resource material, so that if you know someone who has a problem with drinking or drug use, you can always give them the link. You know, the program on YouTube could be accessed by just typing in my name, Ramnaresh Dwarika, and there's all the other programs that have been done over the last few months posted there on various aspects of alcoholism and drug addiction that you will be able to access. And it is there so that we can help people. And if you think you need help after listening to this program, all you have to do is to call my number, 671-3040. That is 671-3040, and I would be only too happy to share information and give guidance to you. As I said, the program is interactive. The numbers are on your screen. If you wish to call in, it is 663-2335 and 663-1027. So without further ado, let me just ask Johnny to unmute his phone and he can interact. Good morning, Johnny. Hello?
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Dwarika. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning, Johnny?
All right. Okay.
I know you are at.
Yes.
Are you at Hill House?
Well, I am at Hill House. Yes.
Right. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
Very good.
So. Okay.
So you would have heard what I said about you. I would really like to invite you at this point to tell us a little bit about yourself, Joy. You know, whatever
Right,
you
okay.
choose, whatever you're comfortable to share with the public.
All right. Well, my name is Johnny, and I am an alcoholic first and foremost. And first, I just want to say a very good morning to all the listeners, and I hope that you know my experience will encourage you to really seek help, because I seek help. And as Mr. Dwarika was saying, I did struggle. And let me just give you a little history about myself. I am the person that I'm a chronic alcoholic. I used to drink every single day. That was my escape. That was my freedom. And I lost everything, literally everything. And you know, I reached the stage of vagrancy. Spent a month sleeping on cardboard on San Fernando Promenade because of my helplessness, because of my chronic state. And you know, as I said, I have struggled. I couldn't come to terms with my alcoholism. I really can't pinpoint exactly why. However, there are reasons, you know. I knew I needed recovery. I knew I needed to stop. I needed that. But to come to terms with really wanting it, that was my problem. And even when I used to make meetings before, and I used to see that thing about giving your life and your will over to the care of God, and I had problems with that.
Right.
Because I had a problem with, you know, I used to think he is not there for me. And you know, I can't say it as simple as that. And I had a frame of mind that God hate me, and so I have to hate him back. I used to think that he will have mercy on whom he have mercy. I just not one of them. And looking back now, I see myself there. I don't know if you all are aware of footprints in the sand. God was actually carrying me. I used to think that he didn't have mercy on me, and it was the total opposite. He was having infinite mercy over me. And in logically speaking, are supposed to be dead. Logically. Through man's eye, through the village eye, through my family's eyes, through my relatives, everybody's eyes, co-workers' eyes are supposed to be dead. And I skipped punching and gone straight to Biram because it was a deliberate, intelligent decision and economic.
Mm.
That was me. I used to just get high. That I used to live to drink, just live to drink, just that freedom where there's no thought. And when I was there sleeping on Carol in the night, you know what was my comforting thought? That when my life over, when I dead, all my family and them gonna know that yeah, he dead now, so all the troubles are over. And that was a comfort to me, you know. Just imagine that. And you know, I used to think that is it for me, you know. I had absolutely nothing. I lost my job, I lost my risk, everything about me just diminished. And I was one of the guys in the community that people had hope for, that I would make the village proud. And I had good intentions.
Mm.
And then I realized when I define myself that this is a disease. I am a sick person, not a bad person, a sick person. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that. They go say he had hard and he hadn't, and you know, but I could have seen my powerlessness there. You know, I could have seen, looking back now. At the time I didn't know nothing. You know, and you know, I came to Heal House, and you know, that journey, that transition that I took, I had to do that. Otherwise, there is no hope. I just had to do that. It's as simple as that. I just had to come to terms with my disease, come to terms with who I am, that I am an alcoholic. I cannot take that drink again. And being on the 12 steps of recovery helped me and is helping me. I have learned a lot of things in here. I have given a responsibility to overlook the rest of patients. And you know, we are at Hill House, our established rehabilitation center. I mean, let me just say a word about this place, because this place truly helped me. The chairman is fondly known as Baba. He was the former president of the IRO at one time. He's also a retired senior engineer. He got an award for a father awardee. He is through the Archbishop Pantin. He's also an advocate of living, you know, the science and art of living since 1960. And he's a blessed, truly blessed. You know, when this is my experience. Is it's as if God leave everybody else and help me. That is how it is.
Yes, Johnny, you know, let me just say a hello to Baba as well, because I remember when I was director at Piparo. I think his right name is Brahmdev Maharaj.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes. And Baba used to come all the way from where he lives in Central there to Piparo every week. This is a man who has dedicated his life for the upliftment of the society, especially the downtrodden. You know, and I'm hoping that at some point in the future, we can probably have him on the program, because he has a wealth, a treasure trove of knowledge about humanity, not only religious, from a religious perspective, but from a living perspective. So I know this morning we are very grateful that you were able to join us, and I know you have been giving a lot of service at the Heal House. You know, let me just say a little something to our listening brothers and sisters, and to remind them they can call in and ask questions or comment. The numbers are on the screen. But the Heal House started way back. I don't remember. Do you know? You remember when it started? You have the history. Johnny, you remember when Heal House started?
A little over 30 years ago.
Yes.
It was funded at one time.
All right. You're breaking up a little bit, but let me just say
Funded
a
it
little
up,
bit
they
about.
opened it up and they find.
Right. In the very beginning, I remember being at a meeting at Rienzi Complex, myself, Mr. Pandey, Ulsi Bagan, and one or two people from the Mr. Rampasad from Currently Limited, who also was a person in recovery. And I remember sitting down and putting our heads together to formulate a name for that institution, and the word heal came up. The H, well, the word heal in mnemonic is helping every addict live. And I thought it was so appropriate because that is what the whole effort was supposed to be. And we must express our gratitude to the then Currently Limited for providing the accommodation, the facility that is now occupied. I think we just lost Johnny because of the internet. Hopefully he'll come back in. Yeah, but just to continue, the Heal House, as it is known now, is located just on the off the road that connects the highway to the Point Lisas, that Rivulet Road. It's near the Carolina Village. And yes, Johnny, welcome back. I know we lost you there because of the internet. You can unmute. And it has been, there was a very good friend of mine, Mr. Kapoor Rampasad, who has passed on. But Kapoor did fantastic work in managing the Heal House, and many a person in recovery in Central and in Trinidad generally owe a debt of gratitude to Kapoor for the work that he did. In fact, for so doing, he did receive, I believe it's the Hummingbird Medal for service. I would have to ask the people, Francis, if they could help Johnny unmute. He says he's having difficulty to unmute. Yeah. While we resolve that, I just want to go back to the Heal House as soon as we have Johnny cleared. I don't know why he's having problems to unmute. Yeah, so the Heal House has been providing treatment and rehabilitative facility for the last 30 years. And there are many, many people today who I've met in recovery who started their recovery, their early stages, because sometimes, people have difficulty in the beginning, especially if they're living in a very high risk environment. It is very difficult. So I see Johnny is back with us. Can you unmute now, Johnny? Yeah. While we see if we can have that problem resolved, just a little bit about Heal again. I know that it is a short-term rehabilitation program, depending on the progress of the patients. So Johnny tells me that he's still not getting through to unmute. Let me see if I could send the link to him again. And technology is a very useful thing, but sometimes it could be a little bit of a challenge, especially for people like me, who are still struggling with the technology. In the meantime, as I said earlier on, this is an interactive program. Anyone listening out there, if you have any questions about Heal House or about recovery, you can raise them now in the program. And the numbers to call is 663-2235. No, 2335, that is, sorry. And 663-1027. So if I can ask the operator, Johnny, Francis, if you all could unmute Johnny as the host of the program. Yeah, I think the host could do that. Right, but getting back to recovery, for a lot of people, sometimes it is critical that they have somewhere that they can go, for the initial periods of their recovery. Having worked at Cora Hospital myself, I realized that, sometimes it is very difficult for one to stay in the environment where the temptation is there, the friends are there, the old triggers are there still. It is very difficult to stay in that environment and be able to stay sober. A lot of people have good intention, they have the desire to do that, and yet, in spite of all of that, they are not able to stay sober because they do not have the support system. I think Johnny's back with us.
Yes, finally.
Finally, yes. But better late. We still have quite a bit of time. So Johnny, you were saying, I know that you struggle quite a bit. And a lot of people, they give up hope. Some people even become suicidal. Even me as a person in recovery, I know I did contemplate suicide many times, not knowing that there was light at the end of the tunnel. So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found yourself healed?
Yes, well, since you talk about that and ending your life and thing, because I had the only choice to me at that time. There no less than 3 times I tried to commit suicide, and I remember vividly the last time I had a picture in the back pocket of myself and a picture of my mother and father, and I wrote in the back of the picture, I could never be this person again. And I remember waking up drunk, my foot through a wooden center table, I lie down on the floor and the rope on my chest. And looking back and thing and seeing all of that I tried to deliberately end it all because of my hopelessness and frustration. And I thought to myself, the last time I remember that I made a decision to live again.
Right.
I didn't make a decision to go back and drink. I made a decision to live. And I was telling a mentor, I should say, that I wanted dead sober.
Right.
And at the same time, I want to live sober also. And, and that was the state I reached in, and I came to Heal House and my thinking started to change. I remember that interview with Baba.
Right.
Say, unless you're willing to change your thinking, we can't help you.
Right.
And, as people calls and the first thing I ask, they have to be willing to change.
Right.
And that it started, that is where I started. My whole process of thinking, I went on the recovery program. And Baba's theme of his teaching theme is we have to do better in all that we think, feel, say, and do.
Right.
That is one of the teachings that he promotes. And wisely promoting betterment.
Right.
Is what he teaches. And the greatest sin that we have is to misuse and abuse the chance of life. And he deals with more of the spiritual aspect of the recovery program, and his teachings could go for everybody. He have sessions with parents, with the guardians, parents who are responsible for bringing in the patient on a Sunday. And everybody is invited to come because that is what he teaches. And that man, he's 91 years, still driving, coming here. Oh, it's only on a Thursday. Every single day he just come. He can't do it out here. And the man just have a passion for helping people. And God actually, for me, God sent that man for me. I will be having a bad day, and to just sit by him just for a few minutes, all of that is just leave you, you know.
So,
And he have this loving
Johnny, I know a lot of people
after
who are
every session. He
listening
does
to us. You know, a lot of people who are listening to us, they have someone, they know someone, they have a relative, they have a son, you know, who might be having a drinking or drug problem. And I know there's a great demand for treatment and rehabilitation in this country, and there is a very little short supply. I know that there's a whole long list at Cora, where I used to work, of people wanting to get admitted. I would assume that there are a lot of people also wanting to get into Heal House. So how, if
yes,
a
yes.
person wants to get into Heal House, what is the procedure at this point in time from your experience?
Well, okay, from my experience, the procedure is you have to be willing to come.
Right,
And first, let me say onset that we are not any money making business.
right,
Is 1,000 for 3 months, and we don't call that a fee. We just call that just to come on board.
right,
And you know, presently, Baba don't ask you to leave. You know, he say a month to change in 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months. That is just to come on. And after the 3 months, we assess here and you know have an interview to see where you go from here.
right,
Plus, there is a outcome now that we're working on because we have to work it more in more details, more active, where the guardians, the patient will come back on a Sunday. There's meetings available, counseling available during the week. Also, you're free to come, you know, because it is an incurable disease, and this is what we try to initiate here. The recovery program will tell you that, Baba will tell you that, and
what are some of the activities you all have there at the Heal House?
well, prayer, well, this is a spiritual program. We don't make joke with prayers. We pray 6:30 in the morning. Wake up call is 5:30,
Right.
except Saturday, Sunday. There's a garden. They're doing very, very well, very well. We
Okay.
you know buy this week. And, we have pimento. You know, we have shatine behind. We have reaper some shatine the other day. You know, and and the atmosphere. Listen, let me just share something that happened in the rehab. And this is what it is about, rehabilitation.
Right.
You know, obviously they have some fellas giving trouble. And
Right.
it does affect. And you know, it happened in such a way, in the space of a month, 4 new guys under the age of 30, and the atmosphere they brought in here, it positive. Boy, to hear a guy stay 9 days and telling these new guys everything that going on is amazing. I tell you, I was cooking and hearing these guys and them, it gave me strength, more strength. Nothing do help a man than helping somebody else, Not absolutely nothing. I experience that. When I now come here and people telling me that, I say, what your nonsense you talking? And I experience that. And listen, the experience these fellas give me, it just give me uplift my spirits. I will do anything for them. I just get up 3 o'clock this morning. By the time 4 o'clock, Bodhi and Roti done cook.
Okay.
And it's just these guys attend this session, and we always have that positive and discussing the program. We have a guy here over here, he over here, and I just leave that in his hands. Let he share his. Nobody on no stupidness here. Everybody on recovery. And when you come here, that is where you come here for. This is not a rest house to sleep whole day and thing. We have activities, and the guys when they see them things growing, is a form of therapy. They
Definitely.
have that to look and see, yes, they're doing something. And everybody, if somebody out or something, somebody go help somebody. So
Right.
we have to regard everybody as brothers in here. The board members is uncle and Baba is just Baba.
But Johnny,
Ah,
I know, having been the director at Piparo myself, I know that you would, I have a sense that the Heal House was also set up in a similar way as a therapeutic community. And I know that you would have rules. What are some of the rules you have? Because a person considering coming there, I know you mentioned it earlier on, it's not a holiday. You're just going there to eat and sleep. There, you have to be actively engaged in your rehabilitation. You know, you have to be willing, and you have to
so
become willing to follow rules What are some of the rules you all have?
Some of the rules we follow our roster here. When you say your prayers, you go, you make up your bed and all of that, you shower, then we go in the garden, then
Right.
I give them 40 minutes to prepare for session. It's 10 o'clock.
Right.
After 10 to 12, lunchtime, you eat, you have a little time for rest. Baba will call 20 minutes before a session.
Right.
After that, if only on a Wednesday and a Thursday, we have 2 sessions. So
Right.
that we no activities we do in the evening. But they have a choice to go in the garden. And these guys, they just run down in the garden after. I mean, I don't know this. Yes, we have activities, but your primary purpose here is for recovery, not to go and walk in the garden and burn in the sun and things like that.
Right.
I personally have a mantra here. We're giving you the best chance at recovery.
Right.
Sometimes visiting is be Saturdays and Sunday, and I just give them the option, if there's an emergency, you could come and drop off whatever. If somebody run out of something, a family and run out of something, the family could come and drop it. And I have that, because listen, from my experience, when you come here, you had nothing, and I didn't have a towel to dry my skin when I come in here, and now my cup is running over. I could give somebody who in need of something, I could give them that.
So
I could have never.
the point I'm making, Johnny, a lot of people have all kind of impressions, that this is like boot camp, is like prison, there are rules that, yes, there must be rules. Of course, I remember Piparu, you couldn't bring drugs at the compound, you couldn't be smoking and drinking while you're there, because if you use drugs while you're there, you have to be expelled, because you're going to spoil the whole thing. But I also want to let our listeners know that, it is a deliberate, it's a well-programmed activities that are geared to reintroduce a person to discipline and structured living, and being able to ventilate their problems, and also be able to listen to other people, and as a group, work out their things like conflict resolution, how to get along with others, how to share, how to take responsibility and keep them. So I wanted to just the public out there who do not know about HEAL, and especially those brothers and sisters out there who do not think there's a way out. What would you want to say to them, Johnny? A person thinking about coming to HEAL or thinking about stopping using drugs.
I have been told, and I experienced it, that there's nothing like a hopeless case.
Correct.
Nothing up. Because guys, not only me, guys come in here and they found here, people come in here and find God.
Right.
Men come in here like cuss God and leave here saying praise the Lord. I tell me, and tell me that I experienced.
Right.
And you want what I say, if you want and willing to go that distance, that length. I just personally have a session on a Wednesday morning, and that is one of the first questions I always ask: why are we here? What it is, what it means to go the distance, and your thinking and all of that have to change, and you're having these guys and them discussing, talking out there. We have we just have a session in the night when everybody done eat and thing. Instead of going and talking crap and thing, we just have a little session over here. We go in the books. We have literature here. We have reading material on recovery, and them guys and them discuss. It does have a real nice atmosphere here.
Right.
And any activity, we just try to deal with that at the onset.
Right.
We have a saying here: all for one and one for all.
Is there a number? Is there a contact number for HEAL?
Have a contact number 767 12.
Yeah.
767 1236.
All right. So I will take a note of that in case anybody calls after and would like to get a number, and they can call this. Is there a particular time they have to call, or they can call anytime?
Well, no particular. You could. This is I just be on duty 24/7.
All right. Okay. So you will be responding basically to this Hey, I think we got the right person on the program this morning because you can respond and you can to anyone calling
Yes.
questions or queries, you know. And I
And
also
even
want to thank the other members of staff there. I know some of the other people who have been involved. I also know that Alcoholics Anonymous and so on go over there and they try and they keep meetings as well. And that when members leave the center, they are encouraged to join a support group like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. You know,
that is the
yes, Johnny, go ahead.
that is the purpose of the NA and the AA meetings,
Right,
so that they would bridge. So when you leave the gate, you're not alone.
correct.
They will have somebody to take care of you. Because as I say, it is a lifelong, it is an incurable disease, and it is a disease.
Right.
So
And just to add to what you're saying, you know, Johnny, while I was at Coro Hospital, we did do a survey, myself and Dr. Igwe and Mr. Lincoln Ogier. And what we found coming out of that survey, that people who left treatment like Cora or Heal or Rebirth House or wherever, if they joined a support group, they did far better than if they tried to do it on their own. You know,
yes,
the relapse rate was very high for those people who tried to do it on their own. But those who went to AA or NA and so on did far better. So I want to say again to all our listeners listening there that listen, you know, like Johnny has reassured us as well. You know, I know time did not permit for him to go into more details. And this being a public platform, you know, one would just share their experience, strength, and hope in a very general way. But he did this, and I'm grateful to him for being speaking about his personal experiences, you know, growing up with a lot of ambition and a bright future, and then getting involved with alcohol and you know, getting distracted because of that, and then losing everything. I know some of the details of Johnny's story, having spoken to him on a one-on-one, and I know he has come from very far, and he's a person that I admire greatly. And I also know that he attends meetings occasionally online, but he's very much involved at the Heal Foundation there in trying to assist the new people and the young people there. Any final words before we sign off, Johnny?
there. My final words is there. There is hope. There is hope. There is nothing like a hopeless case. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I wish, you know, this life that I live in now, I just wish anyone, anybody, if anybody could, if I could change, anybody could change. I have seen it, I am experiencing it one day at a time, and I am truly, truly blessed. I am a miracle, and I am so glad that I am living sober today, and living it to the fullest. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you.
And we are very grateful to the Heal Foundation, to Baba, and all the other members of staff there, and my friend Sam as well. And and for you for becoming willing to come and share your experience, strength, and hope with us this morning. And to also, I know that you have given the number and you're willing, anyone has a problem and they would like to get additional assistance, you can call Johnny as well at 767-1236. It's an easy number to remember, and he will respond. And I know that there will be probably a flood of people wanting to get admitted. But let me say up front, you know, even Heal House and all the other places, they only have a limited amount of space. And as a result, people wishing to go are screened. You know, if you are not willing, if you know, I know a lot of family members who are so disgusted with just like to get rid of this one who is using the drugs. But if the person is not willing to do something about it, then going to Heal or going to any one of the other places is not going to be very productive, because the Heal House is not a custodial center where they can keep you. They can't keep you there against your will. So that you have to be willing. You have to have a certain level of insight and motivation. And I know that once you have that level of insight and motivation to recover, then you can get help to stop. So I want to thank all of those people who were listening to us, to let you know that this program is also going to be posted in a few minutes on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you have any questions, I could be reached at 671-3040. That is 671-3040. And I'd be only happy to respond to your questions and your queries or anything that we have discussed in the program, and to let our listeners also know that there are other institutions in Trinidad and Tobago that are available. You have the Substance Abuse Prevention and Treatment Center at Cora, and their clinic is on a Thursday from 9 o'clock. There is the New Life Ministry situated at Mount St. Benedict. They also have a branch for female addicts and alcoholics at Santa Flora. Then there's the Rebirth House, whose office is at Sharford Court on Charlotte Street. And I'm hoping that I could get people from these other centers to come on the program in the future and share their own experiences and to tell you of the services and resources that they can make available to help all of us in this fight against this scourge of drug addiction and alcoholism. Again, I want to thank Johnny for coming with us and to thank all of you who have joined us, and to let you know this program will be aired again at 10 p.m. tonight on the same platform, Radio and TV Jagriti, and it will be posted on Facebook and YouTube at the end of in a few minutes, so that if you want to refer anyone, to have them listen to the program as a resource, they can type in my name, Ramnaresh Dwarika, and you'll get all the programs there. So thank you all, and I want to thank Johnny, Francis, and all the people in the background who are doing all the hard work, keeping us online and working on the little technical glitches and so on to keep the program going. And to remind you, this program will be aired again next week, Thursday. So you're welcome to listen. And if you have anyone who has a problem with alcoholism and drug addiction, you can call me at 671-3040 or have them come and listen to the program. So thank you all, and let me thank the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, the owners of this radio station, and its CEO, Mr. Vijay Maharaj, for providing the airtime and the facility free of charge for brothers and sisters out there. So thank you all again, and goodbye until we see each other next week, Thursday, same time, same station. Bye.